it foggy outside. All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yep.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington. And the man whose stories got stories, the hardcore icon. He's got 99 problems, but bananas ain't one. The Sandman. Hack, how the hell's it going today?
No, it's a bad, it's like, might as well be December 7th, 1941 again all over. Dude, I found out today that I am officially morbidly obese.
Oh, wow.
So,
yo.
It took you that long?
Yeah.
My
All right,
man.
So, dude,
Yeah, my
so
man.
I
Well,
go over to
welcome.
Barnsley's house, right? And somehow there's a scale in the living room at Barnsley's house. And I'm telling him he's fatter than me. So he gets on, he weighed in at like 251 or something like that. I got on and weighed 270.
Wow, you and Simon
I
Diamond.
haven't been 270 in over 25 years.
When you were
Shut
on the
up.
fucking growth?
Yeah. I ain't been 270 since fucking 2002.
Well, it's time to lay off the buffet, man. I mean, let's...
Dude, I hardly eat. It's my drinking, I think.
well, all
Probably
right.
that and low physical activity.
No physical activity.
Well, we saw
No,
you...
but dude, I'm fat right now. Dude, it hit me hard. I almost had a tear. Dude, I swear to God.
Well, last
Riley
week...
couldn't believe how sad I was. That's his daughter. She's like, Hack, seriously? I'm like, yeah, Riley, I'm a fat fuck. She goes, I can't believe you.
Oh, you gotta
Talking
hand,
about Hack's friend here.
you gotta hand ottoman now. It's nice, right? A little hand ottoman, yeah.
I know, but I can't live like this.
No.
Dude, at this rate, fucking, I'm gaining fucking a pound a fucking week, bro.
You're a professional athlete, you know. We need to... yeah.
Well, Hack... got 2 weeks till Vegas.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Hack, where were you at this past weekend? In
Cleveland.
Ohio, right?
No, it was at Boston. Oh, yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Cleveland.
No.
Well, yeah, he came home. He came home and he was like, "Yeah, you know that nice Eagles polo that you got? Yeah, it's mine now. It's the only thing that fits."
Dude, I bought two. I used to be like I was an XL like a year ago. Now I'm like a 3X. And I can't even put them in the dryer because those things shrink too much.
Don't worry, I'll get you a shirt for WrestleMania, boss, all right?
I
You
come
know?
home from work on like days and there's just like a random new piece of clothing on my bed and it's me from him because it doesn't fit.
Because I don't try it on in the store. I buy it and there's no way I'm waiting in line to return it. You know what I mean? So when I buy it, I'm like, it could be a tie golf shirt or not even tie, an Oliver golf.
I'd say it's happened like 3 times in the past 6 months.
This don't fit me, Oliver. Here's a new shirt.
I'll let you use my Destination XL account if you want to.
Yeah, there you go,
hop
Hack.
on.
What's Destination XL?
It's shirts for fat guys.
Yeah, the big and tall section.
Yeah, I'll get you some
do
from my
not.
account.
Do not promote this.
Well, I think we
Yeah,
could
they should
stay.
sponsor us because we got 2 fatties on the show.
I got some
I'm
extra.
liking where we're going
yeah,
here.
let's get big.
No,
fat
Yeah.
skinny.
The new headhunters.
Yes, yes. I don't know if we're ready for that
I'd
fetal
be
off
the one.
now.
We need you and Hack to have a weight loss challenge.
Wow, that'd be a good idea.
The
Yeah,
fetal
we
off
should.
Dude, he weighs 100 more pounds than me. It's easy for him to drop
Okay,
30
well,
in the
well,
first
okay.
week.
We'll do
well,
percentages
it'll beat the
or something.
scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Strokes.
Yeah, me, you. Yeah, we'll give you strokes.
Yeah.
What has my life turned into?
In the meantime, I think there's some extra sheets in the closet we can staple for you to wear.
I'm more stupid, more fat, dumber, can't remember shit. People, it's hard getting
That's all
on.
right. You got compliments on my golf shirt that you were
Yes,
wearing,
you did,
and then
yeah.
nice like business
You look
casual on
nice.
social
Yeah,
media.
I should just buy like 4 of them and be done with it.
Well, you
That's
gotta-
all I wear when I'm away.
You got a big reaction too. It seemed like a real big party out there
Oh, are
for
you kidding me?
AIW.
I killed that crowd.
Yeah, it seemed like you did.
jeez.
Yeah.
Dude, it was. It's a music venue. It's a like little like rock music venue that seats like 500, and you couldn't even hear the music. You could barely hear the music over the people.
So technically, I carried you again because it was my shirt. Literally
Wow.
carried you.
Yeah,
Literally
think about
carried
that.
your weight.
That's awesome.
I know, but that shirt's so free compared to the clothes I'm wearing now. It's like, dude, I feel like I got one of those things, a corset on, fucking from the 1880s.
Well, yeah, I got
fucking wearing the clothes I had on a year ago.
Hey, Hack, you told me you got a Jay Lethal story from the weekend. You said you wanted to mention
I
him.
can't think of anything right now but my fatness.
No, it's so funny. Hack
I'll
actually
come up with it.
Hack
Okay.
actually came up to me and he was like, "Yeah, you know how we've been talking about Jay Lethal on the show and like everything." He goes, "I know who he is." Yeah.
No, I forgot that I knew that I fucking knew who he was because we were spending like every Wednesday together, fucking in
TNA.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
And Tina, yeah, he's like, dude.
Well, when I heard his voice, fucking like live, like right there, I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot all about it. I knew this kid.
Yeah, he said he came up and he was
Swear
like,
to God.
yeah, what'd he say? He was like, yo, Hack, what's up? And he was like, I know this guy.
He just shrugged it off like that's just me. You know what I mean? He's like, whatever, gives me a big hug.
God, that's amazing. Oh God, it's
Yeah, I am stupid.
Oh, that's great. This week on the show, we watched ECW the Three-Way Dance. Now, before I hop into the show proper here, this is notable for something that happened before the show. And Hack, I really got to pick your brain with this because
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, there we go. Good luck. You didn't remember Jay Lethal or anything else,
Oh, I
but
know. So then the first thing you're going to do is ask me something 47 years ago.
yes, this is what we do here. So this is from the Wrestling Observer. It's regarding the situation with Sabu and ECW at this point. So Sabu, this is from Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer. The Sabu situation in ECW came to a head this past week, with the end result being the promotion fired him for no showing the 4-8 three-way dance. It had become well known within wrestling that New Japan had booked Sabu for a date on 4-8 and on 3/20, and when he decided to add the 4-8 show, because the original three-way dance date on 4/15 had to be changed because Benoit was booked to Japan, Heyman was looking to put together a three-way match since Christmas, but the date was added at 4/8 because it was the only possible date at that point to assure that all 6 would be available. So Heyman was trying to get the match in finally after months, and the 4/8 date was the only one he thought he had all 6 talents available for. New Japan then gave Sabu the 4/8 date on 3/21 when he came to the show in Osaka. And
Wait, so who actually made the date first?
it appeared that Heyman had the date
I was going to say, it
first.
sounds like they're saying that Paul had the date first, but
But Sabu took the date on 3/21 when he came in for the show in Osaka. And he said he would do the date. And so this is all just messed up here. Basically, what it comes down to is Sabu was getting a substantially larger amount from New Japan.
Freaking believe that.
So New Japan was apparently paying him, I got the total right here. He reportedly earns between $3,000 and $4,000 a week in New Japan if they fly him in for one date, and only $750 per shot in ECW. Does that sound about right for the time figure for the pay for ECW at this point? $750 for a shot?
Yeah, we're at 95, so absolutely for Sabu's pay through Paul, and absolutely that's about the number you would be making in Japan too.
Okay.
But from what I fucking remember, and I don't blame Paul for, I mean, what's Paul going to take the heat? That Sabu had the date before in Japan.
Yeah, so Heyman...
And you have to understand something too. Which company's more important to him right now? A 1995 ECW or a Japan show?
New Japan.
Exactly.
And he was being programmed to compete for their junior heavyweight title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for Sabu, this was a business decision. And
Absolutely. But I don't... And Sabu's pretty fucking honest. I'm pretty sure that he had the date from Japan at first.
Okay.
Because he always said that.
Yeah.
He just ain't a liar.
Right, and this is just the notes from the One Observer. So Heyman immediately contacted Rick Steiner to come in as Sabu's replacement for the show, and was put in position because Sabu hadn't even called, where he had little choice but to fire Sabu, even though Sabu was probably the top drawing singles wrestler in the company.
So I gotta. Do you see that being as something Paul would do, knowing that Sabu previously had that date, purposely making that date that to make Sabu look bad in order to fire him?
No, because
No,
dude,
but didn't Tosh say that the date got changed from 4/15 to 4/8?
so there's a lot of bullshit involved.
I'm just
in
saying,
this.
do you think Paul would do
No.
something like make that
No.
like he knew
Oh,
Sabu
no.
had
Yes.
the date,
Yes,
so
he
he would
did.
purposely make it that date so Sabu could look bad and he had a reason to fire him?
Well, no, because he definitely didn't want to fire him.
Right.
Sabu's
Well,
a freaking draw force now. But what Paulie did, it's like when you know you're getting fired from the network, what do? You turn on the network and you have a network guy and Cyrus come on, you know what I mean? So Paulie's the only smart thing for him to do is put the heat on Sabu for the night.
Instead of himself.
Right. Well, and if you hear the crowd, there's a bunch of fuck Sabu
Oh,
chants.
yeah,
So
a lot.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just Paulie manipulation.
So apparently the heat stemmed from a conversation where on 4/2, Heyman talked with Sabu while he was putting together his final TV show before the event. So basically like the go-home
I don't
show.
believe that.
And then leading up to the 4/8 show, and then he wanted a commitment from Sabu, and Sabu assured both Heyman and Todd Gordon that he was going to be able to make the date and to not worry about it. So again, there's a lot of he said, she said regarding this. The end result was that Sabu was fired from ECW after this for a pretty decent amount of chunk of 95, and turned the crowd kind of against Sabu for a little. When he came back, he was immediately beloved by the audience. It was like nothing happened. But
Oh yeah, lights on, lights off. Him and Taz in the ring. Boom.
boom,
That's a pop, dude.
right. And but
Not as good as mine.
for for your
Just saying.
for your perspective with the boys in the back at this point, was there any heat on Sabu? Did you care
No,
one way or the
because
other?
there was a lot of us there that Sabu was more over than us anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're all just like, and you know, a lot of people know Paul, like they know if you want a straight answer, go to Todd. They know if you're getting bullshit if it's coming from Paul. You know what I mean? So I think Sabu didn't get any heat from the boys at all.
Okay.
Well, and how? I mean, are you like? You're not really like boys with Sabu even at this point, are you?
No,
Yeah, right.
not yet. No, we're not tight. Like that was Fonzie. When Fonzie got with Sabu, that's when I got, and I was tight with Fonzie. And then that's how I got introduced to Van Dam and like hanging out with Van Dam.
All right, that's what I'm saying. So like, you're not even tight with him at this point. Yeah,
No,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know him from a can of paint.
So at the show, Heyman opened giving a long speech about how hard and everyone in ECW works, and mentioned several people by their real names, such as himself and woman as Nancy Sullivan. And he said there was a problem with Sabu, saying Sabu gave us a commitment and then decided that because he was offered more money on a weekly basis, he will not give you what you paid to see, and decided to not give me the courtesy of a phone call when he swore to God that he would be here.
Well, then how did you know he wasn't going to be there? Think about that.
That's no, you're right. It said, and he said that if you're gonna fuck the audience because you're the star in this promotion, to let me know.
The cult takes over right here.
Yeah, and he said, you people, the audience of ECW and all the stars within have been fucked and were deemed not important enough to see the performed a match that you have been waiting to see since
is
Christmas.
freaking great.
You voted with your dollars to see him, and Sabu decided to go to Japan. At this point, a fuck Sabu chant began in the building. Heyman responded by saying, I got news for you. You're right. Fuck him. The only way he is going to walk his miserable ass back in that door anymore is if you people say, we forgive him. So, yeah, I mean, this is a huge fuck Sabu chant going. And he said, I want to get the
Did they
show.
ever do the "We Forgive You" chant? That's the first thing I thought. That's our crowd, though. You would think somebody would remember that.
Right. Those
in
people
our
were
crowd, you
probably
know?
2/3 of them were there when he came back
Yeah,
later.
exactly.
Yeah. And then he said, on behalf of Todd Gordon and every single wrestler who's going to bust his ass tonight to give you more than your money's worth, here is the offer from us all. We have something in mind. If you're upset about Sabu, we want you to watch the first half of the show on us. At intermission, go to the front door and get a refund. So basically, if you don't
That's
like,
why you don't save Rick for last. You put him out early, but you know what I'm saying. If you hold him out of that original freaking spot, then I mean, it was a ungodly pop anyway. But
right, and that you're absolutely right, Hack. That is absolutely why Rick Steiner comes out on this show when he does, so that nobody was going to be like, "Yeah, I want my money back. I'm getting out of here."
nobody would. That's not the ECW crowd anyway. You know what I mean? Nobody's taking their money back. I was fucking given the job to pick him up at the airport. Picked him up in one of the Sandman vans. Took him to dinner somewhere in like South Philly near the arena. So nobody fucking. They knew they could trust me to fucking take care of the secret. You know what I mean?
So you were involved in the kayfabing of Rick Steiner coming in.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
Well, and they know I can't. I don't have a computer. Can't use a computer. How am I going to stooge this off?
Well, dude,
Payphone?
it's 95. What is it, a beeper?
Yeah,
How are you going to
well,
stooge it off anyway?
The internet fan. A lot of that crowd was internet fans.
Right,
dude.
they were early internet.
Yeah.
Message boards and
Absolutely.
different things like that.
Dude, you
So
knew if there was a surprise going to go on in some places.
yeah, so
You
that's
knew the whole Monday night cards before they came out just because of that internet. Those
Right.
dude sheets.
yeah, a lot of stooging to the sheets then. But that's just an interesting thing for this show, and you hear the fuck Sabu chants in a lot of matches, in your match too at one point. So it's just an interesting thing about the show going into it. But the show started off with Joey Styles, which I thought was pretty cool. And he opened the show and he welcomed everyone to ECW Home Video. And then he says, Paulie and 911 have a surprise for everyone in the main event, and we have to stay tuned to find out who it is. So that's the replacement for Taz. Up first is Raven, Stevie Richards, and the Broad Street Bullies. So Joey's ringside, and he introduces everybody, and then out comes Raven with Stevie Richards and the Broad Street Bullies. And this is very, very early in the Raven character. He had just come in January of 95, and Richards and him are building up a stable here. And this is the very first appearance of Beulah here, too, coming up. So this is like really, really beginning stages. It's the first match he ever had with Tommy, and it's really cool to see this angle start to take place.
Stevie's got a deep mullet.
Deep mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was great in the segment. He carried it, literally carried it, because Raven didn't say much. He
Which-
talked about it.
Which was the character of Raven at times, you know? He had to have...
Stevie was freaking great.
He really was.
Damn, the more I watched that kid, I'm like, God damn, he was good.
He really was. So Richard told the Bullies that they have to prove themselves tonight, and if they lose their match, they're fired. Stetson was pretty angry. So then Stevie corrected himself to say that Raven was the one who made the stipulation. So putting the heat off on like the big boss and everything was great. Stetson then changed his mind, and then he told Raven he will do whatever he said. And they just... they would beat the hell out of their opponents the same way that they did Tommy Dreamer a couple weeks prior. So then out comes my team, the Pitbulls, for just like a squash of all squashes. They just destroy the Bullies.
Does anyone see Anthony try and get in the ring and totally nailed it?
Totally fucking drilled
I
the
have
ring.
it as a note.
He drilled the
Yep.
bottom fucking rope.
Yep. They were
And
trying
I'm
to do
thinking that's might have been why he was bleeding at the end, because he didn't take a shot from anybody.
No, they didn't sell a thing in this match. It wasn't
Yeah,
really a
I don't
match.
know. Yeah, he tried to get in and totally got stiff-armed from the bottom rope.
Yes.
That was funny as shit.
This wasn't really much of a match. They
Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, he pulled the Titus, exactly. They threw Hot Body to the floor, and then Pitbull number 2 press slammed Stetson, and then he hit his wheel kick in the corner, and Pitbull 1 did a weird sidekick kind of thing before they hit the super bomb for the quick win. Not really a match, nothing really to rate here.
No,
but
I mean, they look good.
they looked good. It was a squash.
Yeah.
It's basically an angle. It's just an angle to play into the other thing.
And Paulie's phasing out freaking the Bullies.
He's phasing them out at this point. I'm not sure how many more appeands they made in
I
the
know, I was
company.
going to ask you that, but I didn't think you would know.
Yeah, I don't really have that down. I should have taken a look into that. But then Raven, Richards, and Styles were interviewing there. They seemed really happy, and then Raven said,
Richard, you've done well. Fine.
"Yeah, he put him over for finally doing something right."
Shitty promo by Gary and what's
I
his
was going
name?
to say the same
We're
thing.
young.
They were just
Yeah, I
hyped.
know. It
We're
was
young. Dude, we're young.
they were just like, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get the tag titles for you. That's what he said basically.
Yeah. No, I know you're young. It's just funny. It was like.
I did like freaking so something must have kicked in Anthony's head because you are now our master.
Yes.
He was fed that line. Anthony was the brightest bulb in the box.
No, he didn't come up with that himself.
So that was a line he was fed earlier, and he probably forgot it, and then came back to it.
Okay, that makes a little bit sense
100%.
there.
Because that carries in the whole story right there. That if the Broad Street Bullies are willing to do anything for Raven, and then they get beat up by the Pitbulls, and the Pitbulls are like, you're our master now, you know what I mean? That's like, that puts your manipulation of Scotty even into another level.
Right, and then this is like Raven as a cult leader kind of thing.
I was going to say,
He
that was his whole gimmick.
right, he's David Koresh, you know? They go to the back.
No, he's not, because he wouldn't have died with everybody. He would have fucking He would have.
Okay,
David Koresh was a man. He was going down with the house.
You're right. Then next thing you know, Stevie says he's got something better for him. And he tells Raven that he found a girl that Raven knew from summer camp and brought her there tonight.
Okay, stop. Now, how did he describe the girl? How did Raven describe the girl?
She was fat.
Obese.
Okay.
Whatever.
So then why was Tommy and Raven fighting over this girl at summer camp 30 years before this if she was ugly, fat, and obese? Because that's their backstory.
I guess they're just losers. I don't know.
I don't know, but
That's the best they could get.
Like.
Yeah,
Was it that they were fighting over her, or was it that they just both knew her? I wasn't sure. I don't know.
Obviously I probably got a 50% chance of being wrong here, but I always thought it was over the girl. Oh, it was over this girl.
Yeah,
I thought it might have just been one that they knew, but I mean, you could be right. I have no. I'm asking because I generally don't know.
He said that summer camp was the worst time of his life, and he said the girl was fat and ugly. And Stevie's like, no, she's changed, and he introduces this absolute smoke show of Beulah
And boy,
McGillicuddy.
has she.
Before she came out, though, I love when Raven just backhanded him too. I thought that was
The
great.
backhand was great.
Joey got stiffed.
Yeah, he did catch a little residual.
because Stevie knew it was fucking coming, and he should have took a little bit more of it.
And
Yeah.
Joey actually wore it good because his glasses went fine, and you see him checking his glasses, and he's like, "Shit." All of a
So, a little interesting anecdote about Beulah McGillicuddy, and I don't know if you know this
Great
about
name.
Hack. The name is fantastic, first of all. But do you know how she got introduced to Raven?
He was the one that first knew her.
No, well, she first originally was doing some.
dancer in Minnesota.
She was doing some stuff with Stampede Wrestling and Brian Pillman's as his sister.
Is that Minnesota?
In the late '80s? No, that's Canada. That's like the Heart Federation.
Minnesota, right next to Canada.
But she ended up, I think, down in Atlanta. And the person that introduced her to Raven was Ron Gant. Remember the baseball player?
Ron, former Philly Ron.
He had a cup of coffee with the Phillies, yeah.
But
Ron-
he was a Brave too.
Yeah.
he was a brave for
he
years.
was the one that introduced her to Raven, and Raven just, I don't know, something clicked to bring her in. Raven always had different valets and everything, and bringing her in was this. I mean, she was a fantastic performer. In
Well,
her own
Ron
right.
Gant was like, "Dude, she's stage 5 clinger. Will you please take her?" Probably.
She's smoking.
I can't get this chick off me.
She's smoking, man. So
No, yeah, she looks good.
yeah, she was a backup.
You remember the first time we were in Florida? Everybody was flying home, and she was left, and me, you, Kelly, your mom, and Beulah went out to. What was the place where you could color on the fucking on the tablecloth? Like. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, we all went out to dinner with her there. She was telling me that she was getting a violence license and shit.
Yeah, I hit it way back then. You had no
she
idea.
hung out
Sorry,
with-
Tommy. No, she was also a backup dancer for Prince too. These are
Oh
some,
yeah, that's right.
yeah. So pretty cool stuff there.
She was purified in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Wait, what?
Minnetonka.
Lake Minnetonka. I actually have
Minnesota, baby.
Hold on, Hack. I got the notes here with the story. So the story is that she fell in love with Tommy at summer camp, but then Tommy rejected her. So she hooked up with Raven to try to get under Tommy's skin, which is, part of why she's included there.
So maybe
that's-
Scotty was saying, "Oh, she's a fat, whatever," just deflecting.
Or she was back then, then got
Right.
hot. Whatever. That's the backstory
Chubby
there.
chasers.
Hey, if she ain't 180, she ain't a lady. The match itself was
That's good for Hack.
Yeah, there
Somebody's
you
going to be chasing him.
There you go. So the match itself, this is the first time Raven and Tommy Dreamer ever got it on, and it was look, pretty standard. Pretty standard Raven. Get your mind out of the gutter. This is a pretty standard Raven and Tommy match. I mean, just crowd brawling, weapons, cheese grater. They did a couple of decent spots. Tommy with the elbow off of the apron, I thought was pretty cool.
Dude,
He's fucking horrible.
Dude, the arm windmill frog splash attempt on the
Oh, God.
dude, that was hilarious.
How much air did he get?
That was hilarious.
Not much.
Off the Eagle's nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the hard floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking floor is hard.
So they did a spot where he's basically got Raven pinned, but he doesn't choose to pin him after a pile driver, and then he bites Raven's head, and then the fans are pretty into Tommy Dreamer at this point, chanting he's hardcore, which a couple months earlier would have been just unfathomable in ECW. So it shows you how far Tommy's come here, and then Raven hit him with 2 DDTs. Tommy kept kicking out, and then Richards did a little distraction. He pretended to choke and attack Beulah. So then Tommy, being the
Dude, how fucking it looks so fake.
I know.
When
She's
I'm
like,
watching it, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god, this is so bad. But when the switcheroo happened, she's like, oh my god, it was so good.
Well, it was
Right.
funny. It was like Happy Gilmore choking his caddy, like,
Yes.
like,
so comical, over the top.
Yeah, it was.
It
or
was-
like a
Three Stooges
like
shit.
a Beavis and Butthead choke.
Right, and Tommy fell for it.
Beavis.
Yeah, with the tongue out.
Yeah.
Beulah hairsprays the shit out of him. Raven landed a super kick, and then Raven hit a DDT on the floor. That all
Actually, the
came
best
together.
spot of the whole match.
That all came together really.
whoa.
Timing
Yeah.
was
Finish.
timing was clean.
Yeah, and then he rolls Tommy into the ring for a pin, and this starts the feud already had started at this point, but this is a 2-year storyline before Tommy pins Raven. He didn't pin him until 97. Here we are in 95, and this is the first time they're in the ring together.
Good.
Yeah, my problem was I told him what fucking Kevin Sullivan told me. That you don't gotta win to get over. Dude, me and him, we would argue.
I
We were
know.
doing tags.
I know you'd argue who's going to take the pin or not.
I am losing. I said, all right, I'm not going out there. I don't care where you guys finish. That's how I would play.
I've seen him say before. He's not lying.
I know, I believe it. It's
That's
fucking
so
great.
good.
I enjoyed this for what it was. This is
No,
this is just good storytelling. It's,
Never ever in the locker room have you heard that fucking people talking.
You're not losing. I'm losing.
I'm going to give this 2.5 stars. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a fun match. Ollie?
I'm giving it 3 for 1995.
All right, give it 3. I'll give it 3 as well. I'm in with the 3. I'll give it a half star. Hack, what are you giving it?
I don't know. It's my fucking boys, and the finish was the last fucking 30 seconds was phenomenal, and that's the only part you're supposed to remember. So it's a 4 to me.
4?
Yeah, 3 for me. It was entertaining. It was definitely entertaining. You know what I'm saying? For
Dreamer's fat ass get up there for a frog splash.
He was in great shape.
yeah, like 95 spots
He was
and
jacked.
He was
So
jacked.
bad.
and like we said, super clean,
The
great timing on
table's
the
right
finish.
there. Why didn't he just put him on the fucking table?
Well,
I don't
it
know.
was saved for Rocco Rock spot.
Oh,
They
that's
could have got
true.
another table
No
up there.
shit, but I was thinking the same thing. But
Up next on the show was Mikey Whipwreck taking on Ron Simmons.
Damn.
Simmons cut a promo before he said he was tired of people in ECW being scared of him. And then Mikey Whipwreck was obviously very scared of him.
how young did Mikey look here? He looks like fucking Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, he does look like Ferris Bueller. He was scared shitless to get in the ring. I don't blame him at all. And then Ron just went out, kicked him through Whipwreck in the ring.
Ragdolled his ass on some moves. Dude.
He did.
Straight ragdoll. But that's what it was supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a WWF stomp match. You know what I mean? This was supposed to be a freaking like New Jack beat down.
Right, and it was a beatdown of Mikey just to get Mikey over. Mikey would get these banana peel wins, It's like,
it's great.
Which is what this was ultimately. Simmons pressed Mikey into a gut buster, and he went for another one, but something was off on that. I don't know what happened there. They definitely botched that one. Mikey did get some offense in with a low blow and then a missile drop kick. And then he missed some other top rope move, and then Ron Simmons just caught him, hit him with a power slam.
That looked like crap.
Yeah, it
was
wasn't
a lot better.
Yeah,
No, he should have caught him, held him, and then
yeah.
He was more making worried. He looked like it was one coming off the ropes, like he shot him.
Yeah,
in.
like it was a whole
Yeah.
So Ron sent in a
And
message.
Mikey's leaping ability is 0. So you know what? Even if Rod Simmons, if you got a guy 160 pounds or whatever, and his momentum's going that way, it's not easy to fucking stop and snatch him. You know what I mean? But if you give a little arc to him when he comes down on you, you're
Ron was probably expecting more.
An 8-iron from 160. You wanted to hit the mat.
Ron then gave him 2 choke slams as a sign to 911. He went for another one, and then John Finnegan was trying to stop him, and then Simmons gave him a vicious choke slam too.
Bump.
Really good bump by Finnegan there.
All bump.
Dude, that was a really, really good bump.
Finnegan's the man.
He got some air.
Yeah, he did. He really did. And then we get one of the rare ECW DQs here, which I liked.
Speaking of refs, I saw Keener at the Phillies home opener, but continue.
Nice little shout out. There you go.
Yeah, he was running Philly security.
Oh, okay.
You remember Keener, the ECW ref?
Yeah, that's awesome. I thought this was fun for what it was. They tried to make Ron look like a bad motherfucker. Mikey bumped pretty well in this, but it's not really much of a match. I got nothing to rate here. I don't know, but you guys, anything to give it a star?
I thought.
Well, we're not even going into what happened.
Well, I'll give the post match. So,
Well, I thought it was. I was just going to say, just on that match in general, I thought structurally it was done very well.
Ron Simmons.
You know what I'm saying? Beat down on Mikey, give Mikey a shine,
Show some life,
and then cut it quick. After Mikey's shine, sometimes people will go down and cut him off and then beat him longer and drag it out. It was no, shine, cut him off, done.
and how long did this go, Ollie? This was short. 3 minutes?
4 minutes, 18 seconds.
Yeah, so structurally, that way, I really like that because some dudes who aren't smart enough, like Hack said, that's Ron, would drag that out, and no, you're not supposed to. So that part, I thought was very, all the rest of it is, it is what it is. But
Yeah, then after post-match, Simmons went to just beat down on Mikey some more, and then 911 came out, and then Simmons press slammed him on the outside, which he kind of caught him. It was kind of weird on the outside.
when he caught Mikey?
Yeah. And then 911 went for a choke slam. Ron Simmons hit a low blow. And then
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but actually, I want you to finish, and then I'll bring it up.
okay, so he gave him a low blow, and then he choke slams 911. The crowd is not happy, and then Ron leaves. Paulie and a bunch of other people come in and check on 911.
Okay, now I'll cut it. Why is Ron giving 911 a low blow, and then the end is for him to choke slam him? If Ron's supposed to go out on top, a low blow is a chicken shit move.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, it's
Do you agree,
ECW
Hank?
95, though.
Yeah, but Hal can't do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but that's a chicken shit move to make Ron look strong, choke slamming 911 right after
which was horrible.
and leave him laying. But I'm just saying, from your perspective, isn't that kind of a chicken shit move? That should have been better?
Well, yeah, but that puts Ron back in the heel position, especially when 911's going to choke slam 17 people afterwards.
I just think
You know what I'm saying?
that's a lesser guy. That's a lesser guy move.
Short segment, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think it's kind of a little bit of an out for 911.
Yes.
If
exactly what it is.
If we were toe to toe, man to man, you wouldn't have hit that choke slam on me. The only reason you got it is because you went
they come
low.
back and have a match
Yeah,
after
I
that.
know.
That's Al's last day in the business, dude. This was the beginning of Al's downfall.
This-
He wanted to wrestle Ron, and 2 things happened, then he was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's like a smaller guy, lesser chicken shit move is the low blow,
No,
and then it's
I
like,
don't know, but I like the big guy fucking chicken shit move too.
yeah, all right, I get ya.
And then, like you said, Hack 911 just gave choke slams to everyone in the ring. Crowd's chanting one more time. So he gave them all their wish, and then he called Simmons a piece of shit. So
I wish he got like one of them above his head.
Yeah, they weren't
Like
the
they
best.
just
Blown up.
Yeah, they weren't.
That was blown sky high.
They were not the best 911 choke slams. We've seen better from you.
Well, I mean, with some of the dudes, I had no vert
It
lead.
was just like grabbing him and pushing him over.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Up next was Joey Styles interviewing Chris Benoit, and he said that him and Dean Malenko came there to beat the best tag teams, and then he gave a little bit of credibility to Taz, saying that he had some guts to appear tonight, unlike the pussy Sabu. And then Benoit said Sabu's hiding in Japan. These are all obviously fed from Paul to say, right, Hack, for Benoit at this point, you know?
Yeah, but I'm sure Benoit has been on the same card in Japan with fucking Sabu. Maybe even worked with him in Mexico or Japan.
Right. Then he called out Taz, and they started brawling.
And Dean was doing that shit afterwards.
Yes, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then Malenko came in and attacked Taz from behind, and then the crowd went absolutely nuts because Rick Steiner came out. He gave Benoit belly to belly, and then Benoit and Malenko ran to the back, and then Steiner and Taz were celebrating while the fans were just chanting "fuck Sabu" at this point.
Yo, if you notice, because you remember with Rick and Scott would be there, fucking Rick be running around, Scott would stand in the middle and fucking spread his
fucked
legs
that up.
and go under him. Taz was nowhere near it. They bumped into each other.
Dude, they botched that a couple different times.
I know, but can you imagine trying to get under Taz's legs?
Oh,
That's like doing a limbo at fucking like 2'4".
the army crawling. No, but then Paul tries to get him to like show him to the fans this side, and they can't do it, and then they try to turn him around the other way. Like, dude, it's like a whole cluster.
I love it that you noticed that.
Yeah, I was like sitting there. I'm like, dude, what is going on here?
So
Shit show.
it was a cool moment, though. You got a huge reaction. Rick Steiner coming out there. So
Yeah, it could have been better though.
absolutely, yeah.
Well, because when he runs out, it's like, you know, certain parts of the place. It's not that pop like what I'll do and a floodlight will hit me or something like that. He's running to the ring. It's like half the crowd doesn't even get it yet that it's him, even when he's in the ring. When he slides under the bottom rope, you know what I mean. And then when he gets up, then he gets it.
Yeah. Up next on the show, man, this was awesome. Too Cold Scorpio taking on Eddie Guerrero for the ECW TV title here. So just a little background on this. Scorpio beat Malenko for the TV title prior. And then so Scorpio put out an open challenge, and then it was answered by Eddie Guerrero. So, this is just awesome stuff, dude. These guys doing some really cool reversals to start, awesome holds, and they were just like trying to get each other in with some handshakes kind of thing, like picking. It was Eddie then took control with a slingshot senton, which was really cool.
Dude, that looked so good.
So crisp,
Like
man.
even for like 1995 coming up, like that was so crisp. Like just his body mannerisms.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
like
He's tight. He's a wire.
yeah, so
Fucking
good.
wire, dude.
Yeah. He gave Scorpio a brainbuster and then a frog splash, and this wasn't the finish, which is interesting. I mean, pretty early in the match, but Guerrero then had an eye poke, which was awesome.
Yeah, but the eye poke into the reverse to put Squirt back up again, I didn't like.
With the arm drags and then a super
You know what
kick.
I mean?
And
Eye poke, and then the other guy's right up on top of you after you shoot him in 4 seconds later, and he can see fine.
yeah.
Didn't like it.
They then go to the floor.
But everybody does.
And then the guardrail.
Great catch.
And there were some suplexes involved there, too. Eddie then threw him with a low blow and a dive off the top rope to the floor, which looked
Great
fucking
catch by Squirt.
awesome.
Shoulder right into Eddie's midsection right there.
It
It
looked-
actually looked like Eddie like bounced off of him like pretty good.
Yeah,
But yeah, hell
Squirt
of a,
knows you got to do your
hell of a
job
catch,
before you
yeah.
catch the dude. Dude, he was trained in the best place on the planet.
Yeah. They did a couple of near falls, and then Tornado DDT and the Super Frankensteiner, which was really
Tornado
good.
DDT, what a great bump.
So crisp, man.
Wow.
So fucking good. Scorpio answered him with a flying crossbody and then a moonsault, and then he did the somersault.
Tumbleweed?
The somersault leg drop and then a tumbleweed.
Dude, almost squashed Eddie's
Just
head.
destroyed him with that, dude.
Dude, he almost like ass on head.
Well,
on
dude,
the
that's
first
why
one,
when Booker T would do it, they called it the Compton concussion.
I've heard you say that
Literally.
before, Ak. Yeah.
he almost
I know.
landed his and Scorp's got an ass on him. Like he almost sat his ass
I
like
agree, Ty, totally.
squashed Eddie's head with that. Thank God he fucking didn't. But
Yeah.
I
Scorpio.
know, but I thought also Eddie's was facing away from the move. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
Scorp set him up.
Well, yeah, I know, but all you got to do is turn your neck freaking 60 degrees.
Yeah, I actually, and I also
Because you're laying on your back, you're not on your front.
yeah, and I also thought didn't Scorp used to land that on the far side, not because he landed on the near
He
side.
did. Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
he did the one on the foot. Yeah, maybe that was
Like he landed closer to the ropes, and usually he lands his ass on the opposite side of the guy. So
Yeah, that is a good call.
yeah, so
Well, maybe because he knocked a couple people out, he changed the move, so you can't. It's harder not. It's harder to stiff the shit out of him.
maybe yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he
Just
almost
change
fucking-
your ass, you get your body weight going the other way.
Yeah, possibly.
Scorpio then hit a super kick, but then Guerrero, I love the finish,
Great
man.
looking super kick.
Just hit him with a victory roll for the pin.
Dude, I don't even know if I've ever seen that type of victory roll.
it was
He's
so
like,
smooth.
like he jumped up, put his feet like on his thighs, like spun around and like did whatever. I'm like, holy shit.
So fucking
Eddie's
smooth.
so good.
So fucking good. And so is Scorpio, man. Like, this match was awesome. This is 1995, but still, how long
The
did this
greatest
go?
thing about it is
1449.
that
Okay.
victory roll. It's called a victory roll, but it's not really. A lot of guys would use that in the beginning of a match. You know what I mean? When you're feeling
For a
the
false.
guy out to get a quick freaking 1 count, kick out, shit like that. They had such a good match that they could go back to ending the match with a fucking move that most people are doing in the first fucking 2-3 minutes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It was, dude. I had never
Especially
seen a
in
victory
Europe,
roll
it's
like
weird.
that because he jumped on him like it was going to be like one of those like springboard like where like they're facing each other and then he got on there, flipped his hips, went around to the victory, and I was like, what just happened?
I liked
Like,
it because they'd already kicked out of each other's finishers. So it was like, what's going to end this? Well, just a quick pin. And it also leaves the door open for rematches because it's,
too that you just made.
you know what I mean? It leaves the door open for rematches because the way, and I love,
Well, it's Eddie's first day in the company and he wins the belt.
I love the way Eddie sold winning. He sold that win like it was something big.
and
like,
Scorp the way he sold the loss.
Hugging that belt.
Yeah.
Hugging the belt, making it like matter. And like you said, Ty, the way Scorpio sold the loss, he's mad about it.
Because it was a 3 count as he kicked out, pretty
At
much.
first he's like, "Oh shit, did that just happen?" You know what I'm saying?
But
But his facial cell went to "Oh shit," but then he didn't get like Superman at the ref. You know what I mean? It's "Oh shit," but yeah, but the motherfucker did get me.
Well, he went.
Which
At
is why
first,
they
he went
shake
to the
hands.
ref and was like 2-2, and the ref was like, "Nah, 3," and he was like, "Fuck, really?"
Yeah,
Like,
that's perfect freaking reaction from him.
And
It's a Japanese thing, also. You know what I mean? Hey, the guy beat me. Respect.
Right. And I loved it. It was like, it was really just awesome. This is really, really great stuff. I'm going to go 4 1/4 for this. Ollie, what do you give the match?
4 for me, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just like the thing I like about it most is just like the kicks and the punches and everything's just so clean.
Right.
And like you could see everything, like nobody's putting a hand up, especially on the kicks, like, and Scorp just lands it perfectly on them. Like, it's just, yeah, they can't miss.
Right. You're
That's a
watching.
great point because we only have so many camera angles. You can change from the handheld at ringside or to the hard.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that actually helps a match like that. In the WWE, there would have been 75 cuts. We wouldn't have saw any.
I know, and you're sitting there like, why?
When the shit is good. But to me, it's an easy 4.9.
4.9.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I got to give it a 5, especially for if you're in that crowd in 1995 and you're watching those two go at it like that type of match. Like nobody's
You
seeing.
feel treated. You're going home like exhilarated in your car, Like I just saw that fucking match.
And the
Did I say
fan and the
four?
great point,
I'm
Ty.
at 5.
You gave it a 5. You're good. Okay.
Four, I meant five.
and the
All right.
fans showed their appreciation after the finish. Like that,
They did.
That dude, you're not seeing a match like that in
Right.
1995, like many places. You're not seeing that.
The only
work.
place you go in the fucking planet. Well, besides Japan.
I was going to say Japan, but
anywhere in America, dude, you're not seeing a match like that in an indie company anywhere.
no, 1990. Dude, you're not seeing that on WWE. You're not seeing that anywhere. That,
Right.
dude, that's such a great match.
And it's special that they brought this to the States. It's special that
Right.
they showcase this kind of talent in ECW. And the dichotomy of that versus the next match on
I
the
know.
show.
And it's great because every like, it's funny because it seems like every new guy like that they brought in, it was like, all right, put him with Scorp. You know,
They'll
Scorp's
figure it
where-
out.
You know
They'll
what I'm
figure it
saying?
out. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Osprey thing in or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's
Nobody's
like,
going to bring in an attitude against Scorp because he'll just fucking beat
whoop your
you
ass.
out.
Yeah, just whoop your
You
ass. I
know?
mean, dude, how thick was he, too, during that match?
Oh, I know. Yeah,
he was
dude.
thick as shit.
Yeah, he is. Fucking, my one last note is, it's Eddie's first match. And a lot of times, fucking, you see that happen to King Cash, freaking, and a couple other guys I can't remember. You come into a company and you win a belt on your first night, there's no place to go but down. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Well, how can
typically-
you go up anymore?
Right.
So it's very hard for guys to fucking do that. And Eddie just kept going leaps and bounds.
Eddie's
Yeah,
an all-timer, man. I mean, he's so fucking good.
Well, because the belt gave him cachet to do what he ended up being.
Then
Like
just
his
go
heel.
beat you.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not like Paul's calling one goddamn spot
Yeah,
for
no.
any of those matches.
No.
Because Paul wasn't that kind of guy.
No.
He'd give you the, hey, this is what I want at the end.
This
That's
is the kind of gist I want. You guys do it.
But it's trust in the talent there, and you know you have two amazing talents at this
But
point.
But that's what made them all so like.
And
That's what
think
made the
about
company
that,
so
fucking-
good.
How much talent how much wrestling talent is actually in that company at points?
Well, think about how much growth everybody had from just going out and being able to work like that.
Totally. Yeah.
And
Well,
like that's
Better
why
constraints.
ECW got so good so quick.
well,
Right.
yeah, like you said, like, hey, this is the direction I want. You guys tell the story, and he
Yeah.
gave everybody
Nobody got times.
creativity.
It was a pay-per-view, and then you barely half-ass got a time there. But nobody ever got a time. Nobody ever
Dude,
got a time out.
some of the arena shows were like 5 hours long. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd be sitting there, I'd be in the back, like,
Yeah, but that's the other thing too. Paul will let you go out there and work at your art. You know what I mean? Any of these other independent companies, you're getting a 10, 12-minute match. Absolute tops, 15, 20, if you're working on top. You know what I mean?
Right.
Paul's like, yeah, go out there. I don't know, it's 45. Whatever. If you get it over, good. Then get it whatever it takes.
Well, up next on the show, like I said, the dichotomy, it's something that ECW gives you, man, because you get a beautiful match like Too Cold and Eddie, and then the next thing is a hair versus hair match between Ian and Axel Rotten.
I wouldn't even describe anything in this match.
I don't
to be
have a
honest
note.
with you.
I mean, look, they're
I
just...
don't have one note. I go
It's-
right from that to my
It's the
match.
same exact match, honestly, that they do pretty much every time.
It's just different because they're brawling in maybe a different pattern. I don't know. They're hitting
And
each other
Ian
in the
just
head with
needs to get a
shit.
bigger shirt. Like he looks like Hack. It's
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god!
you look like
gotta-
Ian Rotten.
You guys, I'm done with this show. I gotta go do a couple laps in the
No, me
neighborhood.
and
here.
Hack, me and
Couple
Hack, we
crunches.
could be
Seriously.
we could be like the bad breed.
All right, I'm gonna be the sheep right now. I'm just gonna start doing deep knee bends here. If I blow up and pass out, I'll see you next week.
Don't waste the gimmick.
I did like when they were.
I did one deep knee bend. I can't even breathe.
I did like at one point they're in the bleachers and there was this one guy in the crowd. He was a black guy. He was just going nuts for some of the one spot that they did in the bleachers. Did you notice that guy marking out?
No, when they were on the away from the hard camera. No,
He
I
was
didn't recognize him. No.
This guy was marking out for the bad breed brawling. He was, but I mean, the crowd kind of seemed to enjoy it. There were people that were there for the gore and the violence of
Oh,
it
for
all.
sure. Oh, dude, if you're there in the crowd, 100%. I
Right.
Can see, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see that.
That match helps you get everybody in the front row at some time during the night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it was like, you know, it's part of the style of that Philadelphia wrestling where it was just this crowd wanted to see violence. And you gave him the violence. You gave him a lot of violence. So
Oh, even after that, he gave him a match with the taped and the glass. Didn't we go over a match like
the
that?
Taipei death match.
Yeah.
I don't know if we reviewed that
he
yet. I
gave
don't
him
think we have.
a lot of range just because he knew that was part of the makeup of our company is you get your blood and guts. You're getting two matches at least of some of the best work on the planet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how he made it.
I like that about ECW, where it's like the circus. You get a little something of everything.
Eclectic.
Yeah, you get a mix. You know what I mean? And like to go from a match that could be in the Tokyo Dome with Scorpio and Eddie to then these two
Literally.
guys.
Well, yeah,
like,
you had 15 minutes of great work, like wrestling work, and then you wait to like obviously like they're still like awake, but then you kind of like reawake the crowd with dudes like going all the way through. You know what I'm saying?
14,
Like
14.
it's just mixing it up because Tommy, I guess it was Tommy and Scotty went in the crowd, and then you had the Scorpion whatever back in. Then you go Ian and Axel, and then whatever's next. It's pick your flavor.
Yeah,
that was the best. That was the best part about it.
this was just some mindless brawling, though.
No,
I didn't see
yeah,
I like hardcore wrestling, and even
Dude, and it's like nobody popped for it's a hair versus hair crickets. I mean,
And everyone's like, all right, just start whooping each other's ass. Like,
bleed, motherfucker. Yeah, stab him. Yeah.
He already barely has any hair, so it's
I
like
know, it's a joke.
You don't get it over as a hair.
And there's no pop, but did you see when he threw his hair into the... Like, a couple people didn't want to catch his hair, and there was one guy that was very happy to catch his
Sign guy, or was
hair. No, it
it?
was to the left of those
Oh,
dudes.
okay. It was
Yeah,
to the
there was a
left.
couple
Left, center, 1, 2, second row back.
I wonder how much he got for that hair.
Yeah, I wonder if that's on
Dude, he should
eBay.
have it right now.
Ian Rotten's bloody hair from 1995.
We'll see it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it'll be at WrestleCon.
Yeah, for like $65 price tag. Yo, cut a couple locks, dude. Let's try.
So the finish was just Axel hit him with a chair for the finish. I can't give this a star. Anybody? No, we're not giving stars.
I mean,
And then he cut his hair afterwards and threw it in the crowd. So that was 10 minutes of your life you'll never have back unless you love this kind of brawling. Up next on the show was Hack Myers taking on... Who was this guy? Dino Sendoff?
Yeah, dude, I
Sandoff.
can't remember him either.
You don't remember this dude? No?
I don't know.
I don't know this guy. Hack is...
I'm sure he was in New York.
he's pretty over at this point with the Shaw.
He needed a belt.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he really is. He's pretty over. But he hit him with some strikes. They're doing the Shaw chant. They were booing because Dino tripped over him on a drop down, which looked like the shits.
And then they did one little thing and went right back to the same spot.
Yeah.
But if in all reality, that's what a drop down is meant to do,
Right,
is
if
to
you
trip
get
a
over,
guy.
you get over.
Is to trip a guy. So, like, in all
Which I've never
reality,
seen done.
no. But in all
But
reality,
now
that's
you
what,
think about it, it's like, yeah, what are you doing to get that dude to fucking jump over you? More people should trip.
Why are you dropping?
right.
More people should
That's
trip.
the point
and
of the
then
move.
You have a spot off of it right out of that.
Huh.
Like they trip, take a face bump, you go right in for the crippler.
Why is anybody diving at somebody else's feet? It's in order to trip them. Nobody ever does, but that's the point
I've
of the
done
move.
that spot in a couple brawls in the fucking bar.
Oh, you.
Let me dive at your feet, dude. Hopefully you'll fall over.
I was gonna say you couldn't jump over a number 2 pencil right now.
High kind of road. Soft. Always soft.
That's what she said.
Yeah, we know that.
Hack Myers,
Really soft.
Hack Myers did an apron leg drop, which was kind of cool.
Shaw.
Took him a second to get the guy over there for it.
Yeah.
He's like pulling on him.
And then he
You're working on his head.
crashed into the post on a missed clothesline. Sendoff did some work on his shoulder. He threw him into the corner, and then he hit a short arm clothesline. And then he put him in a hammerlock slam. And then Dino tried for a short arm clothesline. And then Hack ducked and hit the brainbuster for the win.
How long was this?
Yeah, how long was this, Ollie?
4 minutes.
4
Probably
minutes.
should have been 2.5. Shav did too much shit to him before the comeback started. But he's like young. He wants to be out there. He's feeling it. The crowd's like going with every punch. But there was a minute and a half. Way too long.
I'm not going to give this a star rating. Hack, how many Shaws are you giving this one?
Shit.
Oh, half a shot? Was that a half or a quarter shot? I think it was a half. Up next on the show was...
That was a 4-shot classic. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Up next on the show was you taking on Shane Douglas for the
Oh my God,
ECW.
what a wrestling clinic I gave him.
Fellas, if you're out there, if you are a young aspiring wrestler, please make sure you watch this Sandman match with Shane Douglas so that you can
The grappling
the
guru.
grappling master, so you can learn the crossface chicken wing from Hack, not Bob Backlund.
All right, dude. I actually had it screwed up.
I know you did.
Okay.
Bob Hacklund.
Yeah, that's there you go, Bob Backlund. I liked.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I like that. I like that when you lit your cigarette on the way to the ring, that woman was keeping it in her cleavage.
Yeah,
I like
you
that
would,
she,
creep.
that she kept the lighter in there. That's a great spot. It's little things like that. And then I love Joey ripping you for like what kind of a role model would Sandman be as world champion? Like
Greatest ever.
like ECW's not putting on Ian and Axel Rotten.
No, but then I cut one of those promos after he says that. I know he says that. I'm like, something about I've sold my wife, I've done this. How do you like your champion being a straight scumbag? He gave me the idea for that one.
It builds up to it. It's
Yeah, I mean, come on. If you're hooking your wife, you're a scumbag.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Joey was speculating whether or not Shane was going to wrestle or brawl with you. And the thing about this is that the Singapore Cane, Todd Gordon has banned it before this match. This match is like heavily clipped, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it took out all my high spots.
yeah, there were so many highs. What did you do in this match that we didn't get to see, Hack? Like, what were some of the high spots you did?
Oh, yeah.
Punched, kicked.
Super Frankensteiner. Did you do a shooting star press here? Like,
Maybe.
yeah, it's a
I
shame.
could do a shooting star press, just so you know.
There was probably a drop kick.
Yeah. So you.
All right, so just so you know, I'm thinking the whole time I'm winning the belt. I'm freaking winning the belt.
You win the belt the next week. Is when you
Did
beat
I
Shane.
have the belt in this match?
No.
Shane had the
Okay.
belt.
All right, so I thought I was winning the belt fucking in this match. And then I forgot all about that woman turned on me just so we could do the gimmick the next week.
Yep.
Yes, I'm an idiot.
So you do a crossface chicken wing, and then
It's hilarious because you're doing the crossface chicken wing to Shane, and he's literally 6 inches from the rope, and he's not grabbing the rope.
I know. I'm like, I didn't care. I wasn't telling him anything, dude.
But it's
I would tell anybody else grab the fucking rope.
I know the spot
And then
is.
let me pull you back.
I know the spot is you trying to get women to slap him, but like he's literally right next to the rope. Like, why are you doing that spot when he can literally just grab the rope?
yeah, and then you did a shoulder breaker. I've never seen you do a shoulder breaker before. That was pretty cool. I was like, all right, this is a new one for the same.
Probably
You
the
gotta
first and last
understand, I'm
time.
trying to prove that it's like, this is probably my half-ass fucking drunken ego. That people don't think I could work, so let me like show like I could work.
So after this, do you think they thought you could work?
Absolutely not. After my crossface chicken wing, they're like, seriously, Hag, this fucking dude.
This
It's a
is
smart crowd.
this is very clipped, so it's like I can't even give this a rating. But they see you go up top then for a flying leg drop, which was pretty fucking nice, man. And then immediately afterwards, I guess because Sabu would do it,
It's-
they're just chanting fuck Sabu" right after the leg
I
drop.
didn't understand that either.
You're so
Because Sabu would do it, I guess.
you're so fucked because you jump off your left leg and do the leg drop with the left leg. It's so fucked.
It looks
Like-
so weird, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you do
Dude,
it, it's,
Shane was far too. I
He
was like,
was.
is Hack gonna make this?
Dude, he was a little bit on the halfway side of the ring.
I know,
Yeah.
but the funny thing
I,
is,
I
like,
knew I could hit him easy.
you should be jumping off your right leg and doing the left leg, but you did
Which
the
makes
left.
sense because when I play basketball,
You
whatever,
jump off your right leg,
jump, left leg.
yeah,
in.
but you jump off your left leg and then you got to swing it back around, and it's like you're sliding into
I know, I
second
look
base.
stupid
like-
in the air.
Yeah.
It's no, it's not like
okay, took a rip here.
like some dudes have this picture perfect fucking leg drop. You know what I mean? Where they're sitting in a 90-degree angle when they land on them and shit.
So at this point, you go for a pile driver, and then you tell woman to go get the cane. It jumps ahead a little bit, and then you pause for a sig break, which I just love. I love when you take a sig break.
That is really good.
Such a
Just
good spot. It's so good.
I know, in the middle of a match,
He's
just
taking a
ripping-
sig. He's taking a sig break, and then woman comes back out with the cane. But instead of giving it to you, she throws it to Douglas. and you're smoking a cigarette. You get cigarette smoke in the ref's face, and then Shane gives you a low blow with it, and then rolls you up for the finish. I thought this was actually really fun, really creative stuff. It's just to get you to the next week. Some of the booking, though, I'm a little bit like, whatever, but it's tough to give a rating. But I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it's hard to give a
Because
rating.
it was chopped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
It really, it's hard to get an idea of how the match really went when they chop it like that.
Right, but I enjoyed what you did, though.
I have no feel. Like I told you, I thought I was winning the match.
Yeah. Ollie, what did you think of this one, though? I know it's clipped,
it's
but
good, but Hack's alright, I guess.
it's all right.
Yeah, but I did nothing good here. The biggest thing I did was fuck up my crossface.
Yeah. So then afterwards, I love this heel work because Douglas and Woman are celebrating. And then Shane does the ultimate dick move. He takes your pack of cigarettes out and he dumps them on the ground before leaving. I thought that was just like a good little heel move by him. And then you light, then you light like a sad cigarette up too. You have a sad cigarette, which is great. The camera
just sitting in the middle of the
just
ring,
sitting there
like,
all dejected. It's great.
Dude, you gotta fucking. That's where I'm connecting with the crowd right here. I'm not saying a goddamn fucking thing, dude. But that's a connection to the crowd because they've all been drunk, they've all lost something, they've all sat on a fucking curb and had a smoke and thought about it.
Right? And then I love your promo afterwards too, man.
Good
I
promo.
hated it.
Good promo.
You didn't like it?
But dude,
Nah, I
the
hated
cane is directly in front of your fucking
Well,
face.
yes,
It's
that was
blocking.
for purpose.
All right. Well, whether you
Yeah,
say
that
it or
was
not,
definitely
but
on
it was
purpose.
blocking your face the whole time. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude.
I wanted it that way.
Oh, all right. Because I'm like, dude, nobody told you to get the cane out from in front of your fucking face.
Nah, I was on my own at this point.
I liked it because you were saying that Woman encouraged you to cane your own wife and that you promised
Yeah,
to,
tell a little story.
Yeah.
At least keep the story going.
and you're keeping it going and you promised to beat Shane next week
And woman, can you imagine what I'll do to you after you see what I did to my wife?
yeah, and I loved your line that you're like, I'll bring every activist. She should bring every activist she
That
can to
was me
protect her.
trying to be smart. I'm saying when I said it, I'm like, oh,
No,
you
I like
fucking
I like
asshole.
that line.
I hated that.
Oh, I like that line actually, man.
Every activist.
And what a
The
drag.
activists are wrestling shit.
And then
An
you
idiot.
and then you
I was
ended
just
with the
trying
drag.
to sound smart, I think.
Dude, good promo.
I thought it was a good promo, and then I like Shane's promo with Woman too.
But I haven't liked many of my promos ever. I probably hated like
Well,
75% of them.
Well, you
Really?
just don't like to hear yourself talk. That's why. You think everything you say is stupid.
Shane,
And so do we. And so do we. So
Yeah, for 58 episodes, it's definite fucking yes. 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 Yes.
Shane told you that you don't have what it takes to win the title, and then he said he deserves the belt, and then Woman because he earned it. And then Shane said his bank account's full, his body's worn out from celebrating, but Woman doesn't think so. And then he threatens to fist you. And then that's what he said. I thought this. Oh, hey man, all right. And then Woman ends the promo by saying she's not afraid of you. And yeah, I thought you guys had solid delivery on both these promos. Both of you guys.
both, dude, and Shane
I
and
probably
Woman,
saw his. He probably saw mine.
Shane and what? I mean, dude, that's a really good fucking. Both of them, were really good.
Yeah.
Especially Nancy. Nancy was super.
Yeah, her facials.
Her
talking.
facials and everything like that. But dude, I mean, Shane could always cut a great fucking promo, dude.
Yeah.
He was so good at that. But and you got to think back watching the show. This is 1995. That's such good shit.
Yeah.
That promo between Shane and Nancy right there. That is awesome shit.
Yeah.
When you listen to a Shane promo, you know what his thinking spots
get the
are in the
promo
promo. Whenever he's laughing, he's thinking.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, let me get this out of my brain right here. Then let me laugh. Let me log in the next one. Spit that out. That's how he is. We've talked about it.
Yeah, I love Shane, man. Awesome. The main event of the show is a three-way dance for the ECW tag team titles between the Public
There was
Enemy,
a lot. There was
What
way
a
more in this match
clusterfuck.
than I thought it was going to. Yes.
Benoit
Wow.
Malenko, and the Tasmaniac and Rick Steiner with Paul Lee. This is just an absolute cluster. It's a tornado tag. There's no tag rules. This is hard to recap, 'cause
Dude, I
this is
wouldn't even,
I don't even know what to tell you because it's just
Nobody
fucking,
wants to sell for Johnny Grunge. If you notice that.
Do you think so? Because I thought so.
Yeah.
I mean, smallest guy out there, and I don't know, just
But the other thing is, it's kind of like Teddy and Johnny. They were partners, but you got to understand. Those guys are exactly the opposite kind of people. I mean, you can't. It's pretty hard to get more pure opposites there. So, but Teddy had the respect of everybody else in the ring because Teddy had already been around the world under a hood wrestling his freaking. Tiger Mask.
No, he was.
So
Tiger
he
Mask,
knew all
but-
those guys, and he had everybody's respect. You know what I mean? So they're going to give Teddy a lot more than they're giving Johnny. Nobody wants to give Johnny anything in this.
Oh,
Okay.
no, well, everybody was trying to get their own shit over, like, obviously. And honestly, Teddy was selling his ass off for everyone.
Yeah,
He was the cheetah kid. That was who he was.
Cheetah
under the
Kid,
hood. Cheetah Kid.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
And, no, Teddy was selling his ass off for everybody. I actually felt...
Johnny ain't.
Well, no, but I actually felt bad for Teddy because everybody kept going to Teddy, like, doing everything that there fucking possibly was on him. Taz ain't selling. Steiner, I mean, well, those two probably aren't supposed to sell.
No, Steiner ain't fucking selling.
No.
Not a thing in this match.
I mean Malenko did some selling or whatever, and Benoit
Because he had to a little bit.
Yeah, right. But other than that, it was all a big fucking clusterfuck. What was the one spot? Somebody suplexed Teddy on the fucking...
the two
and they
suplexes
kept
that hit each other.
Yeah, in the middle of the ring, I was like, oh! Like, oh, dude, it was just... You can't even...
rewinded that a couple of times because I didn't know if I saw exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
there were some cool things in this. Like I liked Public Enemy brought out like a cookie sheet, and then Rick just no sold it and starts hitting himself with it, and then hits Grunge
That
with it.
was good.
I like that.
All right, here we go. Hold on. Remember how I would tell you about in a battle royal? Nobody's like, you're not shooting people across the ring and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
got to be careful.
Stay in the corner.
The same
yeah.
thing happened in that match right there because it was such a cluster. There is no way that should have happened. Those two guys freaking getting suplexed freaking into each other.
No,
That shit should never have happened in a million fucking years.
No, and that was like the pinnacle of it. But the whole entire...
know,
But the
exactly.
whole entire time, like... Dudes are just off doing their own fucking shit. It's just a big fucking clusterfuck, and that was just the pinnacle of it. Like where it was like, damn.
So what was the finish on the first guy's out?
The first out was Dean was holding Taz down for a flying headbutt by Chris Benoit.
Well, yeah, they took Steiner into the fucking crowd.
Right.
Yeah, Steiner was in the
Get
crowd
away
or
from
whatever.
here while we do a finish.
They did like a double. Benoit hit something, then Malenko like gave him something, and then held Benoit down for the headbutt, and they eliminated Taz.
Steiner hit. I want to call out too in the first part of the match was that
What?
sit out tombstone that he hit. That was wild.
Oh, dude.
On Teddy,
Yeah.
and
broke
dude,
his
Teddy looked
neck.
like broke his neck.
Dude,
yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, dude, that was fucked.
I was like, what's he going to do? Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
that was
That's-
bad. Joey was like, and Teddy's 3 inches smaller.
Yeah, Joey had a great call on that.
Oh, the one thing I didn't like about Joey the whole time, Steiner line.
The Steiner line, yeah.
Steiner line. I'm like, Jesus Christ, shut up.
So they don't leave. They just
Dude, he
Taz.
did the whole show by himself. We didn't even mention that, did we?
Oh no, at this point he's doing all the shows.
I mean, dude, Joey's got carte blanche with us. I mean, we all know that. You know,
maybe there's
that's-
got to be shit that he says. Fucking
yeah.
Taz and Steiner just like not leaving, and then Paulie and Todd come
that's
out
what it was.
and finally get him to leave.
And that
then,
was fucking weird too.
and then Heyman does
It was horrible.
Heyman uses the phone on like some security dude, which is weird. And then for some reason, Hack Myers was there too.
Yeah, I
What
was
the
wondering.
fuck
I
was
like,
that
what
about?
is Hack doing?
I have no idea. And then Joey was
Because
like,
he had a 4-star bagger.
And Joey
earlier.
put him
It was
over.
like-
yeah, Joey put him over on the commentary. He was like, oh, and Hack Myers, he's not with him, but he's just, he's like, I was like, what the fuck is this?
And I'm thinking the same freaking thing.
It was a cluster.
Did he just go out there on his own?
Yeah.
He had no
He-
belonging out there.
Dude, he's so over. He had to go save the segment.
Exactly.
Get out
He's
there.
somebody's got to tell Benoit how to work.
Yeah, really.
Public Enemy were just bleeding everywhere. And then they take control of the low blow. Grunge does a Vader bomb. They use a bunch of chairs and a crutch comes in. There's brawling.
Chair shots.
The Benoit and Rocco are in the crowd where Rocco hit him with like a beer can or a soda can. They fight over to the Eagle's Nest with Grunge and Malenko are trading falls in the ring. And then Rocco places Benoit on the table. And this is what you were talking about earlier, Ollie.
Do you think Teddy was supposed to break the table when he threw him off the bleachers?
I think so.
And
You
then they
don't?
just like flipped it on him, and then he put Benoit on the table, and then
Yes.
I kind of think so.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then he went for the drive-by, but Benoit moved. So then back in the ring, Grunge is choking Dean
I
with
love
the cable.
that original arena, man.
Nails a neck breaker, and then everyone's back in the ring, and Benoit and Malenko are just double teaming PE. But it's kind of like a PE, Public Enemy.
I used to double
They
team.
said Pete.
No,
I used to double team PE back in high school. What?
And there was a little miscommunication on who's going to go for the pin, and then Rocco Rock lands the drive-by for the win, and it was kind of a weird finish. How long did this one go, Ollie?
19 minutes.
19 minutes.
Well, really 20.
Yeah, I'd like.
Dude, it was way too. Dude, after the first elimination, there was another 15 minutes. I was shocked.
I mean, like, it's just like straight action match, and you kind of have to put yourself into 1995. This is like a mixture of both the work rate and the brawling styles of ECW, so you're trying to present something unique.
Because there's some guys out there that don't do the shit that the ECW style is. How many times has Rick Steiner smacked the metal chair hard over somebody's head in the ring?
What, dude, look
Never.
at
I mean, never at this
Benoit and
point.
Malenko. What the fuck are they doing in that fucking
Dude,
match?
it's
Yeah.
two dichotomies of fucking of styles.
Right. So it's a marriage of different styles. So you're giving something unique for these fans that like both styles of wrestling, right?
Yeah, but it's just been done 80,000 times better than that was in ECW.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.5 stars on this. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it a lot. I don't know. Ollie, what do you give it?
2.
2?
Yeah, because of the guys that are in it, and I mean,
It was a cluster.
yeah, but I mean, it's 20 minutes worth of work, so you can't like shit on it completely.
Right.
But it could have been done better.
Yeah. Hack, what do you give it?
I go,
He's popping himself with his note here.
my first note is Grunge is fat as shit.
How apropos.
How apropos.
damn.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to the gym. Maybe not tomorrow. But, oh yeah, I got to go to freaking Boston tomorrow.
Okay.
You're going to Jim's house? Or Jim Steaks?
I don't know. This is.
This is great.
Jim Steaks before the airport tomorrow.
Go to the gym?
My flight's out till 4:30.
Going to the gym, baby.
I can't wait to hit a buffet with you in Vegas. We're gonna go to town.
Go see Wayne Newton.
What do you
Oh
give,
my God, it's Wayne Newton.
What do you give the match? Hank?
Yeah, I want to go sit on a park bench by the fucking sphere and just do mushrooms.
Okay. What do you give the match?
Hopefully there's a buffet there.
3.
3.
You don't want to eat where you're on mushrooms.
Ty, what do you?
You will. I gotta give it a 2. That was just a clusterfuck of all clusterfucks.
It was.
It really was. Overall, if you guys have never seen this show, definitely check out Eddie Guerrero and Two Cold Scorpio. It was fucking
Check
awesome.
out Stevie Richards' mullet. Too,
Check
while
out
you're at it.
Stevie's mullet. This is a fun show, though. I enjoyed it.
I mean, dude, if you're following along, like this is the
Right.
inception
We're
of like
working.
ECW.
Yeah.
Like this is just, but if
So 95.
it's nice to go back and see the beginning and the start, like the Raven and Tommy feud, the Hack and Shane,
Absolutely, I
and
agree.
like all the other stuff. Like if you're into that sort of stuff and you're following along, trying to see the inception of ECW, then yeah, you want to go check it out. You can fast forward some of the other bullshit, but
Oh, dude, you can pretty much fast forward through anything but me, and you'll get the gist of the story.
next,
say.
next week on the show, we are covering AEW Dynasty. This is live from Philadelphia.
hometown baby.
I will be in the house.
Wait,
so
what is it?
AEW Dynasty. They got a pay-per-view
AEW's
in Philly.
pay-per-view is at
this weekend.
Temple Stadium.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Lee Corus Center. I'll be there. I'll be
Dude,
in the
floor
house.
seats, dude.
Big
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah.
I think I'm in Boston.
I'll be in the house. I'll give you
In
live perspective.
Boston.
You guys will give the
Where are you
pay-per-view.
sitting?
We
don't know yet.
We don't know yet. We'll
Well,
talk
he
about that.
bought 3
after.
seats. He doesn't know if he's sitting in the middle or one of the
Yeah,
ends.
but me and you
the
are going.
food will go on the 2 seats
Yeah,
on the right.
me and you are going.
you and him are going.
Yeah, those are the 3
Yours
We
plus
need
1.
6 seats easy.
Yours plus 2.5.
Have a buffet in between both of us.
So we are recording this show on April 3rd, 2025. And guys, this is the 1 year anniversary from when we dropped our first show. So 1 year
shit,
in.
really?
Yeah, we
How's
dropped
that possible?
we dropped our first show on April 3rd, 2024. So this is the 1 year anniversary.
And what number show is this?
58. We did a couple extras, little things here and there.
I was
So
going to do the numbers there. Like,
So-
All right, well, congratulations, boys.
yeah, congratulations,
Yeah,
boys. This is 1 year in, man.
1 year in. I'm surprised Hack made it this
Yeah,
far.
really.
Here for that.
Congratulate me when we're 10 in.
10. We beat 10.
No, 10 years, he's
10
saying.
years. Okay, 10 years in.
How fat will you be then?
I don't know yet. We'll have to keep eating.
Are you going to be on that 600-pound life show with
I
that
was going
fucking...
to say that. Dude, you're going to have to put me where I have to
I
be
ain't
on my
putting you
own
fucking
floor.
anywhere when you're fucking that heavy.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a crane
You might,
putting you
have to
somewhere.
you might have to get chainsaws out to take me out of my bed with a forklift off the side of the house.
We'll
Yeah,
be
like
like
the
those two.
butcher and gangs in New York, just carve it up.
We'll be like those two twins on motorcycles. Those, those.
Billy and Benny McGuire.
As
That's got to be a huge
The
motorcycle.
page before that is Waldo, the 8'11.1" guy. I'd love to get his world record.
As always, send in listener
We're
questions
stupid shit. I know.
to sandmanpod@gmail.com. Please leave a name and a town. That's all that Hack ever asks for. Jesse from Aspen writes in,
Yo,
Aspen?
how we doing?
I don't remember hearing Aspen.
You see
before.
Louis Christmas out there?
Yo, dude, are you getting crushed by a storm right now?
Hey, Hack in the Sandlot. I'm all caught up in current. Hearing you read my email made by day. I'm stoked to see you're going to be at WrestleCon in Vegas. We'll see you there.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
See you
Make
there,
sure
buddy.
you let me know who you are, and we'll do like a little video together, and we'll put it out.
He says, what are you looking forward to in Vegas that's not wrestling related, if you can say it on the air?
Sleeping.
Okay.
No, the Sphere.
My son. Oh yeah, the Sphere.
Okay.
That's like Hack's favorite thing on the fucking planet.
I
right
never
now is the
seen it,
Sphere.
but oh my god, that thing's the greatest thing ever. I guarantee it.
He said, Hack is
And the
talk-
buffet.
Yeah, and the buffet.
No, dude, mushroom Sphere.
Hack has talked a lot about bumps he's been forced to take because he proposed them for someone else to take, but they refused to take it, so he ended up having to take it himself. He also said on the Elimination Chamber review episode that he refused to take the Tommy Dreamer, which was a chair around your head pushed into the ring post bump. Can you elaborate on why you refused that one?
It's hard to protect yourself there. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, I can't just put yourself there, and it's very hard to protect yourself when you're doing that. I mean, if the guy pushes you a little bit too hard, you're gonna feel it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one
Well,
of
it's
those
hard.
things.
Well, yeah, it's hard to protect yourself and also make it look good at the same.
Well, yeah, and make a sound.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to hear metal versus metal. So either you got to have your left hand or your right hand up underneath the bottom part of the back seat where it's like curved. Mm-hmm. So you got to have that part like right under your chin. And dude, and if there's a little bit too much force, your arm isn't in a position. It's in like a 90-degree position, and it can't stop you as good as if your arm was straight out.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Was there any other bumps that you refused to take?
Yeah, I would never take freaking some of just the ones that I've seen, not any. Not
I was gonna say, I think he's asking one that were
like.
like proposed to you. Like,
Nah,
did anyone
nah.
ask you like, "Yo, how can you do this?" And you were like,
Well,
"No."
no, I would turn. Somebody wants to do light tubes. I'm like, no, get away from me, you idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not doing light tubes.
That's not your thing at all. Yeah, that's
I'm
different.
not doing fire, you know, because I'm not a fire person. There's no reason for me to have fire anywhere near my match.
Yeah.
Like that.
He said, second, about the discussion of what it would take to turn Tommy Dreamer heel, the consensus was that the crowd wouldn't turn on him because he was
He was
still
heel early in his career trying to be a babyface.
Yeah. Well, he
With his
proposed.
purple suspenders, his glittery suspenders.
He proposed this. What if Tommy Dreamer abandoned Beulah after she announced that she was pregnant with his baby? Or what if he joined Cyrus in the network and supported their mission to tone down ECW? Those could have worked, yeah.
It'd be hard for him to turn heel abandoning Beulah because Raven was heel. It's not like Raven was ever going to be a baby at that point.
But I like the
I
network
think-
idea.
Well, there was a point where Raven wasn't in the company where that could have happened, and then you just figure it out afterwards when he came
I think
back.
you're fighting against the stream with Dreamer, though, if you try to turn him heel. Like, I think it would have been tough.
Okay, dude, Cactus is the only one that could effectively do it in that building. It's like How heinous can you have to be somebody to be heel? They see heinous shit every freaking match. You know what I mean? So they're desensitized to, oh my God, this guy's so bad. This guy did this. Like when Gunther freaking strapped one of the dudes.
Unless it's a personal thing, which
that's why Cactus did it.
Which I think the Beulah thing, he's like on the right idea, but Raven could never be a baby in that point. So how could Tommy be that much of a heel?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't. And that's what Cactus said. Remember Cactus? I'm like, how is a Cactus going to be a heel? I guess Todd told me or something like that. He came in and turned it on the fans. I ain't taking these bumps for you anymore. Because he knew he couldn't be dastardly to be a heel. So he had to figure out a way to make it interpersonal between him and the fans.
Yeah, Kane Dewey.
Yeah, gave his best promo ever. He said his contribution for the worst gimmicks ever, Fake Diesel and Fake Razor Ramon and Zeus.
All right.
He also said, love the pod. Hearing Hack break down the mechanics of moves is awesome, especially the super kick and how to take it. That was great.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the listen.
Johnny from San Antonio writes in,
Johnny, how you doing, pal?
yo, happy opening day of the regular season, 162 games, which means we have baseball for the next 7.5 months.
Yes, we do.
Being from the San Antonio area, we have a AA farm system for the San Diego Padres. It was either be an Astros fan or a Rangers fan since we haven't had an MLB. So I've been loyal to the H since early 98. Enough baseball talk. My question, Hack, this week goes like this. I don't believe Hack has ever gone over his time in early NWA TNA during the weekly pay-per-view Asylum days. How is that locker room full of ex-ECW, WCW stars and Jeff Jarrett booking himself on top? How were the early Jarrett days of TNA compared to when you went there in 2010?
I don't know, dude. I was at least lucky that I was over enough that I was above, like, the fray a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I had relatively freaking what I wanted to do to a certain level. But, I mean, early, freaking Jeff Jarrett, I've told the story before. It's me, Perry, New Jack, and I forget who the fourth person was. And he brings us all in to fight a faction of the, what is it, NWA or?
TNA.
TNA, yeah.
But we're going to be introduced to the crowd as our faction during like a Joey Styles and a Jeff match. We're supposed to come out, AJ Styles, yeah. So we're supposed to come out and beat and just get rid of Styles and then square down with. So we're all standing in the ring, and this is what Jarrett's telling us. He goes, well, when you guys come out, I'll back into the corner with the chair, and then I'll come out with the chair, and I'll beat the shit out of all four of yous with the chair. I was on the far left. Jarrett's right. I turned to Perry, I was like, I don't like this. He goes, I don't like it either. And then turned to somebody else, I don't like it. And then we're all like, no, we're not doing it.
So what did you end up doing?
We went to fucking,
Well, he's bringing you all in to like stage as ECW
yeah, put
guys.
us over. You're gonna beat the fuck out of all four of us. Right? That's how we all looked at it.
Yeah, like what do you mean?
Yeah, it was stupid. So Vince Russo happened to be there. So I went to Vince and we changed it around and we beat down Jarrett.
Okay, all right, you got the heat on him. That at least makes sense. It's 4-on-1.
Vince was easy to work with.
Vince Russo.
Yeah, he was very. I would just come up to him and be like, "Yo, dude, Jeff wants to do this."
Yeah. I wish,
and he's like, nah, that ain't happening. I was like, yeah, we just told him.
I wish he lasted in WCW like another 2 months so we could have got to see what Russo would have cooked up for you in WCW. It would have been wild.
No, the guy was pretty smart, though.
He had some stuff.
I was impressed with him every time I was near him and talking to him.
Look, he had some stuff. I know he had a lot of successes in the business. He also
said...
but
not our business, other businesses. It changed our business totally, kind of like ECW changed our business.
Yeah.
He changed it into freaking Morton Downey Jr. freaking, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we brought the hardcore in.
Yeah. Johnny also said, as always, keep up the good work. And if I may, make a toast of the week to the boys of the Sandman pod for their 1-year anniversary of being in the game.
All right, I appreciate that, John. At least somebody's listening.
There you
At least
go.
somebody knows what's going on here.
John from Lake Scranton, PA writes in.
Ooh, it's got to be new.
Scranton, PA?
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, fellas, blood pressure last week was 135/85. Happy with that pressure.
Love that.
Anyway,
I wish I could get there.
I saw MJF throughout the first pitch for Texas, I believe, but don't care enough to look and threw the pitch from in front of the mound like a fucking bitch.
Everybody does, though, dude.
Yeah,
I have
everybody
to
does
agree.
now. Everybody
I don't think they want you to step
Yes,
up and
they
down.
don't want. Yeah, they don't want you twisting an ankle or something like that up there.
He said, was he afraid his skin color would blend in with the mound and the crowd would just see a jersey and
That's
pants
hilarious.
Yeah, that's
throwing the
good.
pitch?
That's funny.
Was if he knew he would bounce it, which he did from the grass anyway. He sucks everywhere.
I didn't think he did. I thought he threw it right into the guy's glove.
I actually didn't see it.
Well, that's what John
See it,
said.
Ollie?
What?
MJF's
Hit
first pitch.
MJF's pitch?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did he bounce it?
It got there, but like it bounced like right in front of the dude.
He said, love you guys. So, John, thank you
Thanks,
for writing
man.
in.
Appreciate it.
Footy from RD Ireland writes in.
All right, footy.
Yeah, footy.
But hey,
Hi,
I
Hack.
got a lot of Ireland Woodies.
Hi, Hack and crew. I just want to say that I love the show. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I listen every week, and I really enjoy the banter between you guys. It's always entertaining. I know you guys all enjoy sports and betting on them, so I wanted to share that there's a horse named Sandman who just won the Arkansas Derby.
Wait, is he going to the fucking to the fucking what's the name?
Kentucky.
Yes, hold on.
Because you win that, I think you get an automatic ticket to the Derby.
Hold on. He's now qualified for the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May, assuming he stays healthy and makes it to the race. I'm sure you guys will be placing a bet on Sandman to win the Derby. Cheers,
Fuck
lads.
yeah, I will
Oh, if
now.
there's a Sandman, that's gonna be great.
Oh, if there's a
Oh, it's
Sandman,
got to be fat as shit.
and he's
that
got to
horse.
be a loser. He's going to do the job.
Yeah,
This
he's
horse-
definitely
yeah.
doing the job.
This
yeah.
horse is going to be glue.
Can we
Yes.
bet? Can we bet him to come in dead last?
I'm losing. None of you.
Can we bet him to come in dead last? Is that
Yes.
a thing?
Is that a thing?
No, there's a thing called he'd be dead last, but it would be called
Win, place, and
they
no
call
show.
They call it DNF.
Yeah,
Did not finish.
Okay. Well,
That's what I would.
Sandman for DNF.
thank you,
Wow.
Footy. Thank you for
No,
that.
good. What race did he win? The Santa Ana?
He won the Arkansas
Derby.
Derby.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an auto winner.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at that.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
Baffert's back now after his suspension. You guys.
Is he
Oh,
back?
Bob Baffert.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
he's
and
got a great horse in
Jason Wirt's got another horse
Yes, he
in
does.
too.
Oh,
Jason,
does he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to watch
Nice.
the Derby. Heart Attack Rick from Mechanicsburg, PA, writes
up,
in.
Rick?
Hey, how you doing?
Boom, boom.
Konnichiwa, Sandman-san, and his
Boom,
little
boom.
koi fish dumplings and the big fat tuna.
Hi.
I don't know who the big fat tuna is. I'm guessing it's me, or maybe it's you now, Hack. I don't know. Rick,
Oh, it's
ba-
got to be me now.
Rick back at it again. Rick's killing these emails. Didn't Stevie long flowing mullet look nice and fluffy? I just wanted to pet it. Wow, we get the debut of Beulah McGillicuddy on this show. My daddy always said I need to copy what my hero would do, so I whipped out my cock and jerked it to Beulah 3 times. He's talking
hell
about,
yeah.
he's talking
Only
about you.
3, dude? I was there after 15 minutes.
Well, hold
As long
on.
as you didn't have a heart attack,
He
Rick.
said, he said
Hope you didn't use Viagra on that one.
Did this email finish?
yes, he said
Because you know he did.
it would have been 4, but they zoomed in on Dreamer's ass and he ruined the moment. Taz should have worn brown overalls and dyed his hair green instead of the orange zebra pants when they first came out. At least he'd look more like an Oompa Loompa he is with the spray tanned on tan, the little bitch.
Loompa, doopa dee dee.
He said, I think Hack
If
should have gotten an
you're
Oscar
wise,
for those fake tears I think I saw when he lit up his last cig on the ring in his knees. What a drag. I gotta admit, I marked out big time when I heard Here Comes the High Stepper start playing when Public Enemy came out, and then Pop when they won the belts. Overall, I give this pay-per-view a shit out of a Raven's butt to the face. This week's question is,
Oh!
And now he gets to the question.
Dude, I'm glad he fucking said that spot.
the Raven?
Yeah, he was running along the thing, gave him a butt to the face. I'm like, Scotty, did you seriously do that?
This week's question, what
There's a
was,
question.
Pussy.
yes,
He's such a pussy.
what was your go-to wrestling company to watch when you were growing up? Mine was WWF until I moved to PA and discovered ECW. Mine was same, WWF, WCW,
I had
ECW.
WWF until we got cable in like 1979, and then TBS, dude. 2 hours Saturday night, man, was the Gordon Soley shit was flying, dude. It was way better than the WWF then.
How about you, Ty? I know you grew up ECW, so
I mean, I grew up in ECW, but I guess when I had like my 4th, 5th birthday, I had like a Macho Man and Hulk Hogan cake. So like, yeah, I was watching it, but I was fully invested in ECW at the time. I wasn't sitting there watching, Monday nights or whatever with WWE. I mean,
He was playing with his dolls.
they were just the guys that were on TV that like I knew. I wasn't really following. I was still pretty young, so.
And how about you, Ollie?
ECW was pretty much like done by the time I could like
Yeah, you missed
watch
it
and
all.
retain
Ollie.
television, but I was obviously watching like old tapes and like whatever I could.
I
And
grew
then-
up probably on like TNA and Ring of Honor shit, probably.
And then, it was probably a lot of mostly TNA and WWE though.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Up next is Jesse from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Just say.
Hack and the crew, I stumbled upon your show and absolutely love it. You guys have so much fun and keep it lighthearted, all while giving us great information about the business. I've gone back and listened to all of your previous episodes. You guys kick ass.
Thanks.
Thank you, man.
I was doing research for my own podcast as I'm reviewing ECW 95 from start to finish. Listening to your episodes about some of the events you've covered from that year have been a huge help, and I give you guys credit on my show when you drop info that I never knew about. 2 questions, Hack. You won the ECW title on the next show after three-way dance in 95. Woman assisted you in winning the title after she turned on you the week before. Do you feel the execution of it turned out great, or would you have changed how you won the title from Shane?
Dude, you have no reason how that even happened. Shane didn't want to put me over clean in the ring. So there was a problem right there, and I'm not giving in to fucking Shane. And Shane's not giving in to me at that point. And we know Shane's leaving the company, you know what I mean? So his job is to put me over.
And Paul has no like.
Well, you gotta
I know you said he
understand,
gave you
Paul's
guys-
like, let the boys work this shit out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to Paul, and I know Shane's not going to Paul.
Right. I know he
Well,
said
no,
you.
Shane probably did, but it was obvious.
I know you said he left it to like you guys, obviously, but like when there comes like, a butting of the heads, a head in the past, like how do you get
You come up with something where everybody's happy. And so Nancy, after probably like an hour and a half, because you find out, like, when you get into the building, you know what I mean? You find out, what the fuck am I doing tonight? And then once you find out what you're doing, maybe it's like 7:30 because you're on close to last. So you ain't going in the ring for another 5 hours, maybe. And then Paul will, give it to you because he's taking care of the earlier matches. And the later matches he'll go over while the early matches are going on. And Paul was always late anyway. Sometimes, I swear to God, we would show up to house shows. Paul would be sitting there at 7:45, show starts at 8, and has nothing. He would look at 2 dudes in the locker room and be like, yo, you two, your first match. I've seen it so many times, it's ridiculous.
It's like a mad scientist.
Oh, the time I was so high on ecstasy, I went in there, he was freaking like that. He didn't know what he was going to do.
Go ahead.
What were we talking about?
No. He was asking you about that. How'd you feel about the execution?
the
What would you have
angle, the
changed?
chain and
Oh,
the-
yeah. So, that was Nancy Sullivan. Nancy's like, because she's like, Hack, I know Shane, you know what I mean? She knew Shane a little bit besides of the week before, you know what I mean? She knows she'd been in another territory with him or something like that. And she goes, I got it. And so she comes back to me and she gives it to me. She's going to use the cane, hit him in the back of the leg while he's giving me his finish, and he's going to want to pins himself. I'm like,
So,
okay, he's that dumb to do that? She goes, yeah, you're welcome.
So
I was so into it.
So Nancy basically called her own like double turn.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Exactly. Because Shane was being an asshole.
Man. I'm glad you guys are at a better spot now.
Dude, your job is... Your job
And it actually
is
ended up being perfectly.
You
'cause-
should,
Yeah.
And the thing is, me and him didn't
Does
have
he
like a... We
Well,
didn't
and
have
Nancy's
a,
back with the champ. So
but we didn't have a personal beef. It's like, dude, I think there's so many guys in that company that not jealous but pissed. Like guys that went through freaking Canada and Stu Hart's freaking dungeon and shit like that. You know what I mean? Guys that have paid their dues all over the place. And they come here, and I'm this drunk that goes to the ring and gets over 10 times more than all of them.
No, I know.
It's just, no, seriously.
I agree.
But there's a difference in the business between being a great worker and being over.
Right.
You
and
can
you
be the
have
great-
to know that.
Yeah, you can be the greatest worker on the planet, but if you ain't over it, it's not going to matter.
Jericho was a super over in our company, but you better believe he learned how to get the fuck over after he left us.
Y2J, baby.
Yeah, fuck.
He also says, what are your thoughts of Eddie Kingston? I feel like he embodies the old school
Love him.
ECW spirit and would have fit in tremendously back in the glory days. Yeah, I love Eddie. I've seen his grind over the years on the indies, Shikara, CZW, the Ring of Honor. Like, it hit.
And he gets it.
Yeah,
He's
and-
cool. You like being around him.
I was so happy for him when he made it to AW and finally got on big television.
Yes.
He had that match with Cody, and then he cut a promo afterwards and got a contract. And it was like, I was happy for him finally making it. I hope he comes back and fucking rips it because Eddie's the fucking man and just awesome. So, love
Dude,
it.
he's one of those dudes that he don't look like it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He's like so perfect, isn't that? He don't look like it.
But he's so over, and
Yes.
I would say anybody listening too, if you ever get the chance to read his Players Tribune article that he wrote about battling depression and his struggles with that, definitely give that a read because Eddie's a fucking fighter, man.
But I put Eddie and freaking like Sami Zayn in the same levels of people that don't freaking look it, but they got it.
They got it, and they got that thing with the crowd too,
Yeah,
where they're
yeah.
just the crowd believes in these people and wants to root for them. So, love that. Alexandria in Massapequa writes in.
All right, Alexandria.
After watching the WrestleMania 17 gimmick battle royal, I started to miss the super wonkiness that wrestling sometimes has. If there was a modern gimmick battle royal, who would you have in the match? I'm throwing in Eugene, the Hurricane, Rosie, Hornswoggle, Snitsky, Simon Dean, and the Ghost of the Iron Sheik because Sheiky Baby Forever. Man, those are some
I'm
great.
putting the real Sheik in there for one.
I'm putting Surfer Sandman in there. For
Oh, Surfer Sandman. Let me come up with a name.
Loser.
No, there's tons.
I mean,
That
All the
wetsuit.
gimmicks we mentioned a fucking month ago.
yeah, but
on
we
the
got to
show.
get some modern ones. Let's throw in.
Have those two tag team dudes for freaking the one with the blonde
Well,
long
Pretty
hair
Deadly?
dude. Oh, I
That's
hate
fucking
those two.
horrible.
Oh, I hate those
Pretty
two.
Deadly. They wear the half outfit, but
Yeah,
they're
the
modern though. So
t-shirt
I'm trying to think of like guys that were
I'm
like
like,
gimmick's
how are
fucking
these
terrible.
dudes still have a
Danhausen?
job?
Danhausen. Yeah,
Dan-
I remember like what was the tag team? They were like the Scottish guys, the Highlanders.
The Highlanders.
Yeah, I would throw
They were
that.
good old boys.
Were they? You
Yeah.
like those dudes?
They was, yeah, because I think it's been a freaking. They were both from like Ireland or whatever, or Scotland. We were doing an Ireland Scotland thing, and I was hanging out with them. So I'm just learning more from the boys because that's the country that they're from.
Okay, I would throw them in the gimmick battle royal of the modern one. I would throw Mordecai. Remember Mordecai? He was the vampire in
All right,
ECW.
Mordecai, I like
Stardust.
that.
Stardust is too big of a star for this. We need some jobbers up in this. We'll have to think of some names. That's a really fun topic
No,
there.
there's tons of tag teams.
But Hack, if they ever did another gimmick battle royal, we're getting you in it, bud. We gotta.
There's no. I saw how bad that one looked. I ain't doing it unless I'm the last one in. Freaking, and there'll be two guys left, and I'll cane one of them, throw him out, and then I'll turn Sheiky Baby again, shot to the balls, and I'll let him throw me out.
There you go.
The
Perfectly
only way
booked.
I'm doing it.
Well,
I
he's
ain't
the only.
beating Sheik.
He's probably the only one that could get you up too, because he did those clubs.
We'll get Billy Gunn in there to throw you the fuck out.
No, Sheik will just have to literally
Then
grab
we
me
got
by
the
the
fucking
top of the
press
head.
after
I'll
the
take the
finish.
hugest bump over the
Sandman,
top rope.
don't waste
for him.
the gimmick.
Saying
Get
thank
outta
you. Saying thank you as he's throwing me over the top rope.
Up
You
next-
jabroni.
Up next week on the show, AEW Dynasty. But before we go, Hack, the cane of the week and the toast of the week.
No, it's just a toast of the week. The Phillies 5-1. I would have opened up with them today, but my fatness took a hold of my.
Taiwan Pinata Walker with a 6-inning shutout victory, baby.
Yeah, boy.
I think it took a hold of your pants over there, too.
Atlanta's 0-7.
Yeah, I love
We'll
it.
see the Dodgers tomorrow.
All right, boys. AEW Dynasty next week.
Peace.
Ain't it far?